The Spinoff Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spinoff Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Kia ora, I'm Duncan Greive, founder of The Spinoff. You can help us keep all of The Spinoff's award-winning journalism free for everybody by becoming a member today at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Welcome to the Fantasy Suite podcast. This is the definitive podcast for all things The Bachelor NZ. Thanks to thespinoff.co.nz. My name is Jane Yee. I am somewhat of a global Bachelor expert.
Yes, you are.
And joining me in the Fantasy Suite, Alex Casey.
Hello, I am the staff writer at thespinoff.co.nz or .com if you fancy, and I am just a casual but passionate Bachelor fan.
And Duncan Greive.
Yep, hi. I'm the editor of thespinoff.co.nz and essentially a Bachelor virgin. I'm the Shivani of The Bachelor, but I'm a very enthusiastic consumer of New Zealand created reality TV formats.
So this is the big one. This is The Bachelor, which has been rolled out in numerous territories all over the world and taken its sweet time to get to New Zealand, but it's hit our shores and it's done so in style. I'm quite impressed. We're fresh, sitting in a room fresh from having watched the second of the two episodes, the first two episodes.
That's right. We just knocked out a bottle of Lindauer Special Reserve Blanc de Blanc.
It's lovely.
To celebrate. It was delicious.
It was Moorish.
Really complimented the episode, I thought, and totally agree. 2 episodes back to back. I could go another tomorrow.
Well, we have to wait till next week, Duncan. But let's talk about our Bachelor. We were introduced to our mystery super secret Bachelor.
Nobody had any idea.
No idea that it was Arthur Green.
Arthur. What do we think about Arthur? It was all art up until...
It was all art. I like it. I think it's a little bit classy, maybe, a little bit sophisticated.
I feel like it was Media Week scrambling. They're like, the media know who our man is. Let's throw them into a spin and call him Arthur instead of art. Yeah. And it was like a whole new guy, right? Made him more sophisticated.
Yeah.
It totally made him fancier.
But Bridget does not like it.
No, she does not like the name Arthur.
That was the great neg of the episode, right? Was when she was like, Give me some other options. I'm just not. I can't live with this name.
Fortunately, you can call him Art or Artie if you prefer. So let's talk about Arthur. First impressions.
I love him. I'm in love with him.
I'm in love with him. I'm also in love with him. So we've got a problem. Duncan, you.
I feel very strongly about him as well. Unfortunately, I'm the only one sitting at this table who's actually interviewed Art in the last 12 hours.
Okay, no need to show off.
I'm bragging about it a little, but yeah, he's a very genuine, sincere guy. He seems quite considerate. I worried going into it if he was just doing it as a giant feature-length ad for Clean Paleo, but even if he went into it with that mentality, I think as soon as he was surrounded by all these women, he started to care for them, and I think it really pains him to eliminate them. I think he wants to keep the brood and just hold them close, care for them.
Yeah, I think it's a great Bachelor trait, is the soft, gentle giant who's kind of misunderstood the format of the show and doesn't want to hurt anybody, which is sort of the key thing. But he's being very conscious of everybody, especially in the kind of moments of stealing conversations and all of that, as we saw tonight with old
Christy with a C.
old mate Christy with a C having an emotional kind of her first on camera moment, very emotional, and old Natalia, Natalie,
the tall one, the very tall one.
The very tall one came in, and he kind of said, that was an important moment you just interrupted. That was very intense.
But then he pulled it back. It's because you didn't want to make her feel bad, and he was like, "But hey, that's okay. You weren't to know."
And then he sent Christy with a C home. So.
Yeah, but only to spare her feelings, you see,
True.
further down the line. Didn't want to drag her through all the emotion. Can I just say that having consumed a lot of The Bachelor worldwide, I reckon Art is right up there. He's much more handsome than I imagined he would be. I'm not sure he's got the amazing, raging, successful business as perhaps some other bachelors have had, but I think that he's good looking, and he seems like he's got a good sense of humour. He seems pretty genuine. He obviously, he's got a nice set of abdominal muscles and so on.
Yeah, he's so ripped.
Handsome.
He has got his shirt off a lot of the time.
That's in the contract,
and
though, right?
also his ass, quite a lot of ass.
Top bum
and V's, front bum as well, almost full front bum. It's not going to work for 7:30, but you can imagine.
So we're happy with Art. We're happy with Art. And I'm reasonably happy with how they've stayed true to the format too, so far.
Yeah, the one misgiving I have is with the choice of limousine.
And that it wasn't...
Well, just
a limousine.
A limousine, and it was a Suzuki hatchback. I think they retail for around $22,000, and they're quite short. They're about half the length of a normal car, which isn't really sort of a stretch limo as such. And just generally, that was like a big fat budgetary problem, kind of rolling into view quite early on. Apart from that, though, we got a seaplane. We've had some pretty like an enormous catamaran.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was huge.
On this 3-story, otherwise the mansion looks good.
The mansion doesn't seem to have a pool, which I'm disappointed.
It doesn't have a pool, and sometimes I noticed, especially in the first episode, when all the women are crammed into one room, Mike is almost forced outside. He's almost delivering the lines from the deck because I don't think the rooms are quite big enough. I think in kind of the American ones, they have these giant, I'm assuming which are just built for the show or occupied houses of billionaires, but these rooms are just a little small, and the chandeliers are just a little low, and everything just looks a little cramped. I thought
it adds to the drama, though. Ultimately, further on in the season, when the claws are coming out and they're forced to be in such close physical proximity to each other and try and have private conversations with someone 3 feet away listening in, it could create some amazing drama.
Yeah, that's true. I know for a fact they only did up a few of the rooms, so I don't know if they were staying in just these shonky little exposed jib rooms next door or not, but I would love for just the camera to just slip a little too far one way and see what was the kind of pink bat spilling out somewhere or something like that.
You have some inside info, Alex, because you were at the premiere event.
I was. We went was it last night? I don't even know.
It was last night. Give us a debrief, because I basically went in, had a half hour there, and everyone was talking through The Bachelor, and I was like, F this, took off, back to my very own non-Bachelor pad and watched the whole thing again.
Yeah, it was
Alex
a disaster. From a viewing point of view, it was a disaster to have a live screening of it. But it was very weird. It was in Grey Lynn at this giant mansion, which I found on Book a Batch is $1,300 a night. So, pretty big. Almost seemed fancier than the real mansion, to be honest, in parts. But we turned up and there were rose petals absolutely everywhere. It was like an OSH. It was an OSH issue. I literally nearly slipped and fell in the pool. This is before I'd even had any lovely Lindauer.
So they have a pool.
There's a pool at the party mansion.
It was a very good mansion. They had a curved sort of spiraling staircase coming down into the main room.
Which is perfect for someone to do a fall and twist their ankle and have the Bachelor, which is a classic Bachelor moment. And every season, someone has some sort of a medical emergency that they need the Bachelor to come and rescue them, take them into the hospital, carry them away.
Yeah.
We'll see if that happens.
Well, Art's had a stumble already.
He has.
Yeah. But no, so they wheeled him out after the first ad break when we were all like, oh, it's Art, great. We all knew it. And Mike kind of led him down. And I did notice there were a lot of petals again on the staircase and a lot of tea light candles. And on his way down, Art did actually knock a tea light candle over, which I thought was another hazard. I think it's hard to be like a normal person when you're just surrounded by so much crap everywhere. It's hard to navigate a room just
You're
covered
really
in-
defensive of Art. I mean, he's you've got his back, eh?
You do, but I don't think we saw the best of Art last night. Like, at least in the time I was there, and from what I've heard you say, you know, he came downstairs and was introduced and looked like he wanted to be anywhere but. And then he basically just slunk off and hid in a room to watch the show rather than kind of mingling with the guests. It was a slightly odd performance, but then he's great on the show and he was wonderful. In our, did I mention that I'd had a private 15-minute session?
Yeah, you dropped
with
that
him?
in. Yeah.
So, you know, that was brilliant. Yeah, I think you're right. He's a 10 out of 10 Bachelor. Maybe we should move on to the series itself.
The series itself. So
Let's do it.
the limo arrivals is always, I mean, that's the big setup for the entire season.
Yeah.
Now, you have to bear in mind that in, say, the US, where they've been through 19 Bachelor seasons, the women know they've got to do something as they get out of that vehicle to make themselves known. So there's lots of gimmicks. People come out juggling, singing, riding on horseback, all sorts. Anything you could possibly imagine, they do it to try and stick in the Bachelor's mind. And there was very little of that apart from Rosie.
Apart from Rosie with the flag and Bridget with the beer.
Brigitte with the beer.
Is it?
Bridget.
Yeah.
Brigitte.
Little Creatures, again, a product of Lindauer's parent company. So she's thought ahead. You know, she's really thought about this. So full credit for that.
I think though that we've still got our training wheels on with the limo arrivals, so it was all pretty standard stuff. Just hello, nice to meet you. Someone told their life story, didn't they? Someone talking about dogs and life jackets.
Yeah, I can't remember.
That was
maybe
Amanda, I think.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, it was
The
nerds,
paddle
right?
boarder, and because she wanted to tell him about the twins earlier. I felt like
She didn't tell him
I'm pretty sure
at the end. No, he would have just chucked her back in the car. Sorry,
Twins
Jane.
are just not. They're not a go.
Oh, don't worry. I know. I have twins, by the way, and I don't get a lot of dates.
No,
quite
you're
nice.
really suffering.
But someone that did do a good intro was Poppy, who, as we've seen, has become quite strong in this last episode in more ways than one. But she made him do a tree pose or something like that. I feel like that was a very good move to get him to do,
But
something with
he
you.
asked.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so he was prodded by the producers.
Oh,
In my
okay.
opinion,
Who got him to do that very terrible one-handed clap?
Oh, I love that though. Did you try it?
Yeah, I've been
Yes.
trying all day.
Yeah.
I haven't been looking great, to be honest.
I don't know who did that.
But again, that's just got to show, he's just he's a lovable dork.
He's a lovable daughter. And that singing of them making up a little song to try and remember all their names.
Yeah.
Consider it. I think I sort of rushed us past Rosie to try and get that product placement in there. But let's return to Rosie's exit to the limo and her time with that, because she said about 1,000 things and none of them were sane. And my God, do we mourn her, right?
I know. She was
would have
such
been
talent.
so good for the season.
Yeah, so she's a dangerous lass. She wants to go to the Middle East. She wants to go to Papua New Guinea. She wants to be in a relationship with a sniper.
She loved the sound. She went to, I don't know where she was. She was somewhere dangerous.
Jerusalem. She can't sleep without the sound of automatic weapon fire, and basically wants to go and join or start or lead a revolution. She is just all in on guns and violence, and basically said to
Likes to go to sleep to the sound of people dying is essentially what she's saying,
That is
right?
what she said, and she basically said to Art, unless you're ready to go to to just drop this stupid competition and go straight to a war zone with me, then we're not going to work. And he was like, I got this clean paleo business. I signed some contracts. Well, I'm out, And I just I loved her for it.
I just also have to mention, because this is it. She's gone, so this is our last chance to just touch on Rosie. When she came out from the not limo, she gave him a white rose and said, "This is a flower from a flower." And then she said, "You see, because I'm Rosie." And then she, in her piece to cam, she goes, "Oh, he got it. He's so smart. He got it." It's like, A, there was not much to get, and B, you spelt it out anyway. So I thought she was going to be really special, and then she was gone.
Do we want to put in your plant conspiracy theory?
I do think she was a bit of a plant. Yeah, I do.
She's an actress. She's done acting work.
I think the plan was always that she was going to put up her hand during the rose ceremony and say, can I have a minute? That's something that happens all the time in the US show. Drama in the rose ceremony. It was pretty amazing to have it happen on the first night. So kudos to the producers. But I just think if you're in there, you wouldn't just go, oh, he's not ready to go now, so that's it.
Though Rosie, as portrayed by Rosie, would. So, at the very least, it was a coherent character that was created.
I like to believe it was for real.
Yeah, so do I. I'd like to believe that she's asked every single other man in New Zealand, apart from Art, and this was just her last chance to have a word with him before she jumped on the plane.
She's off.
This whole country's dead to me. Refusing to die with me.
All right. So, anyway, they fast-forwarded through a few girls, which is just not the done thing. There were a couple of girls that the limo arrival, I don't know if it was a time thing or they were just so boring, they just edited through them just really quickly, chop, chop, chop. They didn't
even get a hello. And I think a lot of them were possibly the ones who went home.
Fiona, certainly.
Although Carissa was in that quick edit, and she's still here.
Still there.
Carissa, we basically seen or heard nothing from, but she is just kind of floating through.
I think there's something weird going on there.
Yeah.
I think
maybe she's a mute. Has there ever been a mute on The Bachelor US?
No. There's been a girl with only one arm.
Oh yeah, she was awesome.
Funny.
That's not. I'm not laughing.
No,
You're
I'm
laughing.
laughing, and I'm like reprimanding myself.
It's just that it's because you feel awkward and you don't know how else to express yourself because you feel bad for her. Right? Am I right?
That's best case scenario, and I hope it's true.
Okay.
She had a great time on Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh,
she was not hindered by that one arm.
No, she's not. She's not. I think she makes the most of it. Anyway, back to our own version of The Bachelor.
Yes.
We could talk and talk and talk, couldn't we? But we have to move on in the interest of time.
Can I have one more theory about Carissa?
Yes.
She is Michael Hill wearing a fake face. She's so rich.
She is rich.
She's eerily young. I don't really know. She's kind of that weird, ageless young though.
Do we know her surname? Is it
You
Hill?
know anyone's
Is it
surname?
Hill?
Is it Jewelers?
It could be Hill Jewelers. Hyphenated.
I don't know. I just think look into her. She works in a jewellery store. It's just what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, we hopefully we'll find out more about Carissa as time goes on. Did you guys take much notice of this season promo? As in the promo that kind of foreshadowed the whole season?
Hit us, Jane.
No.
I'd certainly not as much as you.
Blonde on blonde on blonde on blonde on blonde. I don't see any brunettes in there.
Right. So maybe he's got a type.
The Alicia, the Matilda, the Crystal, the Danny. She's a bit pinkier though, isn't she? But I think it's all blondes. And Christy.
That's not surprising.
Christy with a K.
Christy with a K. Yeah.
I mean, I can't guarantee they're all there, but they're all the blondes I can think of off the top of my head. I think
they're all.
I think he has a type, and I think it's blonde.
There are a clutch of very strong blondes, though. To be fair, that is of all of the various types. 17 of them, I think, roughly were blonde anyway. But that seems to be the strongest ethnic group as white blonde ladies.
I'm very curious to know if the Bachelor gets to have a say. Does he put in an order or a wish list at the beginning of the whole thing? Because it'd be gutting if he turned up and there was just no one there. If he was like, but I really like really, really short girls.
I mean, this is quite the production. It would be a little weird if they didn't ask him, you got anything, is there anything a little weird? He did a 5-hour psychometric test in which he learnt a lot about himself. And it seemed like he'd had a mind cleanse. like they'd maybe wiped him when I spoke with him. And so, did I? Sorry. But,
how did you interview him?
We're kind of pals. He's the new Joe Irvine for me. But, that is the trope. There's sort of 4 or 5 contestants. We thought it was Matilda dead cert going into it. I'm not so sure anymore.
No,
it's up in the air between the blondies. But are we at that point yet? Are we wanting to talk front runners?
I don't know where we're at.
I don't know where we are either.
I think maybe we should run through the dates. I think the dates need to be discussed. They were pretty. There was one particular loud, brief moment that I think it needs referencing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to discuss that first rose ceremony? There's nothing to discuss, right?
Well,
it's for,
four non-entities aren't there anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we can't even... Yeah, let us know who was the last person to go, because we've remembered Rosie, Fiona,
Michelle,
and person X,
Yeah. We could look online, but we can't.
I don't want to.
She's obviously forgettable. No offence. So yes, first official date, a single date with Poppy, the lovely accented, bubbly Poppy.
Bubbly eyes, Poppy.
She's
They're
Poppy.
popping out of her face.
They are too blue sometimes. When she's, especially on the lawn, I think it might be something about the green offset. It's just like, that can't be real.
Yeah, she's a wild woman. I really like her.
She looks like a lot of fun, right?
Yes.
She looks great. She can ride a bicycle and do the splits at the same time, as we've seen.
She does this weird sort of. She can do anything with her body, and I feel like I'm intrigued by that.
She proved that on the beach.
Oh, yes, she did.
We are talking, of course, about the infamous beach fart.
As it will forever be known.
I don't even know what to say. He said she could have done that thing where she just hid it, right? Where she just pretended like it didn't happen, like, oh, it was just... Oh. But he asked her outright, did you just fart? So she had nowhere to go. So she had to say yes. But she had the kind of person... I mean, imagine if that was Crystal. That would have been a very different few minutes right there.
Yeah, she just dug straight into the sand and kind of pulled it over herself. And
She would have
never
just
been heard from
straight
again.
up shot the whole production crew. And of course Rosie would have come running back and be like, I'm in.
Yeah. So I heard gunfire.
Someone call my name?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
It was definitely a nice New Zealand touch. It was, I thought it was something that probably would have made the blooper reel in the US, but keeping it real in New Zealand.
Yeah. And then they went to another sort of place for a seafood platter of some kind,
They
because she's a vegetarian that eats fish.
Yeah.
Only fresh fish.
Oh, sorry, only fresh fish.
Really?
Still a vegetarian though,
that's
apparently.
That's how they described it. She's a vegetarian who enjoys really fresh seafood. So.
I mean, I eat meat, so I have no comment on that. You're not a vegetarian if you eat seafood?
Well, just veggie has this kind of vegetable-ish sort of vibe to it. But
Are fish not vegetables?
I mean, I'm not a scientist.
I think fresh fish is different. It's like it's just like lettuce.
No, they pretty much walked 5 meters from one platter of food to, and then and then I had another amazing, exciting thing to show, and it was some more food just behind the poo to cow tree.
Yeah, the fart just lingering like behind them.
They should have moved, eh?
They had a nice little kiss on the cheek moment. She got a rose, and that was that. I love Poppy, but I don't think she's going to be top 3. Oh, she might be top 3. She's not going to be number 1.
She's not going to be number 1. Poppy would make a great bachelorette, like being the bachelorette. I
don't even know. Is that a thing? Is that going to happen here?
I'm hoping and praying for it.
I don't know if she can live down the fart.
I'm worried after what's happened with X Factor about whether they'll let us do any international reality franchises here ever again. Like we might. It's like we might be parents who've been proven incompetent to be in charge of children. Like they're not in your hands anymore, and you just got to sit there and think about what you've done. So we should savor this as we are.
Yeah.
Oh, we are. Yes, we are. Okay, so the next date was a group date with a whole bunch of people, and there was some tension straight up. First group date between Crystal and
Danielle.
Fraudy.
Let's just call her Fraudy.
Oh, Fraudy McFraudison.
Yeah. So it's interesting as well that Art, he's quite discerning, picked up that Crystal's a bit of a princess straight away.
Yeah.
She's playing it up as well.
Oh, she is, and so's the editor, of the show.
What
do
you mean?
Nothing.
But I don't quite understand the princess test. Are we talking about when they were mercilessly dunked out of the sea biscuit?
Yeah, and she was quite keen to get back to the safety of the ginormous catamaran.
Fair enough.
And so there you go. A princess in our
I think we found our princess.
and the fraudster was like, this could be my ticket out of here. Let's just keep going on the sea biscuit. I've got people after me. Go, fast.
She's like, totally. We can try and return this to the warehouse if we go fast enough.
Oh dear. But and Shivani was sitting in a corner.
Shivani sucks. I mean, I'm not.
Say it.
She's just. She's just not a good bachelorette. Like, she's told him flat out, I'm not going to kiss you.
Yeah.
In public.
Well, that means on the telly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like at the very least, that's a sort of a baseline. So she's a dead woman walking, like more so than anyone else.
Oh yeah, but he still has to keep.
He has to keep her in there for
in
various reasons I don't want to say in a public forum. But she's not good even for the television, or is she?
No, she is. She is. There's always there's always one who's like, oh, you can't have me. You can't have me like that, and then they can't obviously let them go because they don't want to look like, oh, if I can't get a piece of that action, then you're out of here, because that makes them look like not a good guy, right?
Yeah.
So that's.
And I feel like Art is particularly that type,
Oh, he is.
you know?
Yeah. No, he's not. He doesn't want to hurt anyone's
He's
feelings.
gonna. Yeah, I thought he'd end up just marrying bloody old Christy, who's so nice, you know.
Do you think he will accidentally propose to someone because he feels sorry for them?
I reckon he would. I can just end up marrying all of them because he's too nice.
They're just moving to Gloriavale.
I'm just going to
That'd be
put.
a great cross promotion, except it's a wrong network.
Damn it.
I just want to put it out there that if there is not a proposal in this, I'll be so disappointed. I feel like there won't be because it's just not the Kiwi way, but I will be disappointed because that's the essence of The Bachelor.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, again, like, as you say, not the Kiwi way, we had the opportunity last year with The Block, with James and Marie, who had the back and forth, oh, he's never going to propose to me, blah, blah, blah. They had the live TV moment. It was all there. Even Mark Richardson thought that James was going to propose and nothing happened.
He got there in the end though, right? Like he did, you know, in a Women's Day kind of moment.
Oh, did he?
Something.
Maybe
sure
that's kind of smart then, holding it off for the magazines.
Played.
for the story.
We'll see.
Paid for the ring. Okay. So anything else of note from that group date?
The one thing I really liked was how intense Fraudy is. Like, that Crystal kept flirting with Art. That's the entire aim of the show, which made me want to vomit. It's like, well, how is this going to go for you? And she's always got, like, okay, so Poppy, when Poppy talks, has really big eyes and just, like, full intensity. But Danielle's got this, like, am I going to have to kill her? Like, I'm sick of killing people. She's so full on, and I really, really love it. And basically, her every statement has just been dynamite, wild woman. It was very cool.
Do you know what would have been magic? If she's Danielle B, right?
Call her Fraudy.
Fraudy
To her friends.
Fraudy to her friends. And Rosie, crazy Rosie, if they had a magic moment of passion together and left the show to go off on their crazy town adventures.
Yeah.
Danielle gets to skip the country.
Yeah.
Danielle's a mad woman, and then Rosie gets to take part in that kind of whole.
Yeah, imagine there'd be a pair of Hellraisers.
They would.
It would be like Thelma and Louise or something.
Yeah.
Be great. We're just talking about a spin-off with Rosie and
Danielle.
Fraudy.
Oh my god, that looks like a world. Absolutely.
It's such an unlikely duo as well, but yet not if you know them. Makes perfect sense, and we do know them very
Because
well.
absolutely,
We're best friends with all of them.
They're intimates.
Other moment of note is old Christy with a K. Very proud of myself for remembering half these girls' names, by the way. Christy with a K getting like 50 times as princessy on it as Crystal got with her Arthur, my glass is empty moment.
Oh yes, that was not good of her.
What a move!
I quite liked it.
Yeah, I mean it was fantastic television, but
I quite liked it from a sort of pay attention to me. I've got a bit of sass, you know. Like I need some romancing, and plus it really said like the other girls hated it, which is kind of good. I like there's 17 women there, and you've got to do something. You've got to have a little, something out there to stand out. I thought it was okay.
let's touch on the fact that this is somewhat about Art finding his forever love, but mostly about the goings on in the house and the relationships between the women and the tension.
Yeah,
And
finding
all the
out temporary entertainment.
Yeah, and a lot of nail painting and card playing. I did notice Christy K, not great at last card. She had like almost 2 hands full of cards. I don't know if they're actually playing, but I'm assuming like if you're going to play a fake game, don't hold as many cards. You look like an idiot.
She's holding all of her cards close to her chest. So Christy, poor Christy with the C, She actually came out with a classic. I'm in a school unit now. This is a schooling moment of Bachelor knowledge. Okay, so from the book of Bachelor knowledge comes this. She talked about being having her walls up, which is a very Bachelor thing to say. I feel like she has done her research. She's watched The Bachelor through, and she knows that that's one of the kind of the keywords. It's a Bachelor buzzword. Sadly, I'm not sure that Art has watched so many episodes of The Bachelor himself.
I wouldn't think
I don't
so.
think he knew what to do with that. He just sent her home. It's really, really backfired
Yeah.
for her.
Oh, is this Christy with a C?
Yeah.
Two-tone hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I see. You're going to hear lots of words like journey and walls and vulnerable and open up and be myself and all that kind of stuff as the episodes slip by us. So I just that was just a wee moment. I heard that little word and I thought, she knows what she's talking about. As opposed to back to Fraudy, who told it wasn't Fraudy, it was Amanda. When she revealed about her twins. And she was like, I was surprised he was so cool with it. Like, really? Was he going to be a dick about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
She shouldn't have been surprised. She should have done her research again, watched the show in other countries, and she would have realised that was like, you've got kids. I love kids.
Yeah.
I really like Amanda. She's such a mother of twins. I know you're one of two mothers of twins, maybe three, but I'm not projecting all of this onto you. But I feel like she's making every moment count. Like every time she's on TV, she's just like 1,000 miles an hour. She's going all the time, and eyes popping out, just stoked and surprised that her children aren't there, and just
Are you
loving
kidding
it.
me?
Yeah.
I totally get where she's coming from. That is why I am here. That's why we decided to do this podcast, because I wanted some legitimate time out of the house.
This is going to be like a 7-hour long podcast, right? Like, so buckle up, guys.
Yeah,
Just getting warm.
we're not leaving.
Speaking of that, the actual opening night at the mansion was 9 hours. Were you saying, Duncan? You spoke to your mate Art.
My good friend Art. I've actually got a sort of a paleo business with him, like a rebel one.
Who hasn't?
I think he got home about 5:36 in the morning, and he did let slip one thing to me, which may not be true, but it frightened me. Which he said that no one got crazy drunk, because I kind of enjoy seeing people like that on television. He did say that he drank every day for months, so that's something.
Do you know what? He was drunk the whole time.
He might still be.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the bachelor party for 3 hours? And there was Linda there, and I got wasted by accident.
Yeah,
But
that's
if
true.
you're there every night with alcohol, and he's got fancy drinks as
The
well.
thing is, he's drinking espresso martinis. If you are drunk yourself, you don't think other people are crazy drunk. So people were crazy drunk. He just didn't realise it.
Let's hope and pray that that's the case.
The 7:30 time slot would perhaps put a damper on that.
They might just pretend they're really tired, but we'll see what it is,
Okay.
I do
They
wonder if that's
certainly-
why Bridget had a episode in this episode. She did say it was a female moment though, which was a TMI.
Really? Well, it was just like a really depressing kind of, that's what she thinks of herself kind of moment. But what I thought was great was that she went to the toilet and was like sitting with the door wide open. It's like, I've gone to cry, but I really want the whole entire world to know about it, and I will lock up the toilet that 17 other people can use and one guy can't. And so I thought, well played, Bridget, or potentially the editors, as cynical old Jane would have it.
Look, I have worked in TV myself, so I do know a thing or two. Far out, pretend I never said that. So where are we? Where are we at now?
Where are we at?
We've jumped all over the place. Sorry, such is our excitement.
We've done the group dates.
I feel like maybe it's time for the final roses.
Oh, okay. No, but there were roses. We need to discuss the roses. On the first night, he gave us first impression roses to Matilda, which I think was genuine, and then one to Fraudy, which I think was a producer first impression rose, as in advised to give it to her. I think that was just to keep things nice and
She's
balanced.
she's sparky.
Oh yeah, she's.
It's not
I don't
conceivable.
buy it though. I don't buy it between him and her. I just don't. It's just me.
But okay, but if you had a gaggle of 15 women, wouldn't you want one that's a little bit, wouldn't you?
Fiery.
Fraudulent.
There's plenty of fiery fraudsters in him. There's just one fiery fraudster.
Let's be honest.
And who did he give roses? He gave one to Poppy. This is the head of the rose
Puppy
ceremony.
and Danny, who's come out of the woodwork
Yeah.
in this episode as a potential, quite a strong
I feel like
bachelorette.
she may end up as his BFF as opposed to his forever love.
Maybe she can ride a jet ski pretty well. You know, she could be like a bro.
She could be
She
a
got a
bro.
nice cuddle though. The only really nice cuddle
Yes,
of the
and
episode.
that was
That's
genuine.
true.
He gave her a little lifty off the feet
Yeah,
on the back of the launch, which I thought was
that could have been just for fitness.
quite intimate.
Yeah, he's just trying to squeeze it in wherever he can. He's just so drunk.
And later on, he might try and squeeze it in wherever he can in a different
Oh,
Whoa.
Thanks very much. Any other roses handed out before the rose ceremony? Or was that it?
I think that was it.
So then the rose ceremony happened, and who went home?
my favourite. I admittedly picked a very, very dark horse.
So
Also
dark.
dark.
She galloped off.
Might not have been. Yeah. Yeah, it was Natasha.
Natasha.
Yeah, the chess lawyer, as she became known. Who I liked the look out of her jib, but Art sure didn't.
No.
Gave her the heave ho, along with old reverse ombre two colour hair.
Oh,
Yeah,
Christy,
oh,
emotional Christy.
walls
Yeah.
up,
He
Christy.
didn't want. He's only got 12 weeks. He hasn't got time to break down walls.
That's
No.
true.
No.
And Natasha's striking blue eyeliner was a bit much.
Was it?
I think so.
Well, I looked right through it. Pretty, not quite as superficial as you guys.
And that was it, just those two.
Yeah, so we're down to 15.
Yeah.
Oh, that was quite, wasn't it?
It was.
First week.
I'm worried about this actually with 2 episodes a night, and there's eliminations in every episode.
Or a week, but
Oh yeah. Sorry, it's the Lindau talking now.
so it has been all day. Yeah, but I'm sure that they won't maintain the same pace. I think it's going to be like a 10-week run. I don't know how they'll do that. They might even do a no elimination.
Well, see, this is why I think maybe some new girls. I'm gonna keep churning this theory out until I'm embarrassed hugely when I realise that New Zealanders are not going to take a risk like that. But they did it in the Australian one, and there's only 15 already.
That's trademark Bachelor spin.
Fresh
throwing a spin and
meat.
things.
I'm
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
into that. I would love it.
Rosie comes back with like a machine gun.
Yeah. I found these in Jordan.
We have so much to look forward to, but we're running out of time for today. So we're just going to end on our favourite quotes from this week's episodes of The Bachelor NZ.
Okay.
Duncan, do you want-
No, Duncan, you can go first.
I've got sort of 2 that I really can't make my mind up about. I one of them is just a funny line that really epitomised the person who delivered it, who is accordion lawyer. I'm not 100% sure that she has a name beyond that, but she said the wetter the better in this way that was both real sniggerish and also has made her sound 1,000 years old, which she is when she's only 35. But that was hilarious.
35 is 1,000 years old in Bachelor Land.
It is.
As unfortunate as it is.
26.
It does seem like a long bow.
She has her odds stacked against her.
But I mean, look, the thing is, I don't know. I'm 35. You're 35.
36.
But I feel like we're young souls.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that she.
No,
I think she might be an old soul.
She's 35 going on
not looks,
49
she
or
looks
something.
beautiful, but it's just the way she comports herself.
She had a floral halter neck bikini.
I don't know what that means, but it probably doesn't sound like you.
Doesn't need explaining,
Doesn't
Duncan.
need explaining.
I also really, really liked, and this is another shout out to Fraudy, but when she said that, is it Crystal who's got the kind of, she's very thin with the yoga instructor from Christchurch, she said she was very, very opinionated and very wrong too, which is great because of the whole opinions can be wrong thing. Just there was just so much good in that statement, and just the way it was delivered was just hot mess. It was fantastic.
She hates her, eh? I
Oh
can't
my-
wait to
it's
see.
real too.
Hey,
Yeah.
but don't we all? Because that's what they're gearing us up to do, is to hate Crystal.
Hate-
Well, I sure
Crystal.
do. Alex, what do you
Yeah.
got?
Mine is just a lovely moment early on in the Art Poppy date when they were in the plane, and he just leaned over, lovely, look at the romantic vista, and he said, "That's the North Shore."
That was so good.
That was wonderful. And then her later confusion about Waiheke Island and not knowing where she was. But I thought pointing out the North Shore was wonderful.
The best bit is she's from Ponsonby. She's as close as you get to the North Shore
It's Shelley Beach Road.
from the side of the North
Yeah,
Shore. You
the
know what I mean?
first offering.
Yeah.
She should know that, but she's Poppy. We'll forgive her.
She's got things on her mind, like controlling her bowels in romantic situations.
And her eyes. My quote is the Arthur, my glass is empty. I just think that's a big one to pull out.
Yeah, it's hot.
But we have to also mention the did you just fart? Like that's what Art said to Poppy.
I think what we should do is have a reigning champion quote, and it's basically standing up that's holding the title belt, and some other quote's got to come and knock it off. And I think we're all agreed that "Did you just fart?" is holding the belt and holding it very tightly at this point.
I think if they had put that as like one of the taglines for the show,
amazing,
their ratings would have been absolutely
amazing.
You mean The Bachelor? Did you just fart? Brought to you by Michael Jeweler?
That would have been great. And just teasing, like repeating the fart, like an auto-tuned supercut or something.
The thing is, the show is so good, it doesn't even need that. It doesn't even need that.
But maybe we should mention the fact that it rated so poorly. 225,000, which is dog ratings. So, like, everyone who's listening, tell everyone you know to tell everyone they know to watch The freaking Bachelor, because I do not want to see its time slot. I don't want to see anything messed with. I don't want them to cut it down to one night a week or anything weird like that.
No.
This thing's got to run and run and run. It's a movement.
When we need, the thing is, it is, and it's just the first of what will hopefully be many, many seasons of this show, Bachelors, Bachelorettes, and if you're listening and you're single, this could feasibly be the way you find your forever love one day. But only if you watch and keep the ratings up and we get some more seasons.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful note to end on.
And keep listening to our podcast as well.
That's the only way.
And spread the word on that too, please. So that brings us to the end of the first Fantasy Suite podcast for The Bachelor NZ, brought to you by spinoff.co.nz, and with thanks to lightbox.co.nz also, and our sound engineer, Ricky.
Oh my God.
Shout out to Ricky.
So good.
We have a sound engineer, so that's just how professional this is, and we will catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening. That's not...
Kia ora, this is Toby Manhire, here to urge you to tune in to Gone by Lunchtime, a podcast with me, Annabelle Lee Mather and Ben Thomas, tackling the world of New Zealand politics, from policy to polling, from scandal to psychodrama. Listen to Gone by Lunchtime, brought to you by the Spinoff Podcast Network, wherever good pods are sold.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I kōrero with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spinoff Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
The Spinoff Podcast Network.